Hello everyone, welcome to another video of MNCM Institute. Today we'll be talking about journey of red blood cells. So let's find out how do red blood cells look like. This is how a red blood cells look like. This red blood cell is in you, is in me, in every other organism that we see. The red blood cells are not oval, they are not spherical, but they are biconcave, they have a shape of a donut. And he wonders why they have a shape of a donut. Yes, there is an answer to it. The answer is there are different blood vessels which carry this blood from heart to different parts of the body. But there are certain blood vessels which are so thin that only one single red blood cell can pass through it. And if the shape of a red blood cell is not a donut shape, it will get stuck in that blood vessel, and that is why the donut shape helps the red blood cells to squeeze themselves and get inside any kind of capillary, artery or veins. So this is the main function, which is why scientists believe, and this is a hypothesis because of which scientists believe that the donut shape is because of the flexibility that is given to a red blood cell. And how do you think how many blood cells are found in men and female? Yes, the requirements of men, the physical requirements of men are different than women. So that is why the number of red blood cells also vary in men and women. In men, we see a greater number of red blood cells per microliter, which is 4.5 to 6. And on the other hand, for women, we find it 4 to 5 millions per microliter. So you have trillion red blood cells running across your body, and if you're talking about 1 microliter, we will be having 4 to 5 million cells. So these many red blood cells you are carrying in you, and on a daily basis, so many red blood cells are formed and so many red blood cells die. Let's find out how does that happen. The journey starts from here. As your kidney keeps functioning, kidney is an excretory organ. It excretes all kind of nitrogenous waste and urine, right? But it also does one magical function, which is finding out whether your body is deprived of oxygen or not. If your body is deprived of oxygen, then the deoxygenated or the red blood cells which are less in oxygen will get inside the kidney, and different kind of cells will get activated within the kidney. And what do these cells do? These cells create a new kind of hormone which is known as erythropoietin. This is the hormone which tells your body to produce more red blood cells, because there are certain cells which are not carrying enough oxygen and your body is getting deprived of that oxygen. So the first instance that we come across is, how does your body know how many red blood cells have to be produced? So your kidney is the first link to it. The kidney tells you that right time is this time because the oxygen in the body is falling below the standard level, right? Next, the next part of the story comes is, where does the RBC take birth? Where are they formed? RBCs do not divide. Yes, we have heard it right that every kind of cell in any organism, or in the case of humans, does mitosis or cell division, but not in the case of RBC. Why is that so? Because RBC do not have nucleus. The immature RBCs within the bone marrow do possess a true nucleus, but as they mature within a period of 7 days, since the day they have been told to be born till 7-day cycle, they remove all kind of organelles as well as the nucleus within them. Why is that so? Because they have to accommodate lots and lots of oxygen and hemoglobin, and to create that space they have to get rid of the organelles which are already there in the red blood cells. Okay, so once The hormone is released and it reaches your bones through different circulatory systems, to different veins and arteries and capillaries. Your bone marrow is the red part you see here. So this is the area where the red blood cells keep on forming. Yes, and if you zoom into this area, you can see different fibrous tissues, spongy tissues, which is a part of your bone, which makes it flexible as well as sturdy. So this is how your bone looks like. It's not calcified. It is actually a spongy tissue which sits in your bone. And yes, the red portion is the portion which consists of immature red blood cells which mature here for after 7 days and then are released into your bloodstream. Fine, I hope this is clear as of now. Birth of RBC is clear. The first link we had was kidney, which made it sure that it tells the body or the bone marrow when is the right time to produce red blood cells. The second link is your bone marrow where they are produced. Let's move on to the third link. Before we move on to the third link, let's have a look at how your bone defines itself as you age through the years. Once you are born, you have a red bone marrow all across your bone, which makes sure that the volume of blood cells which are being supplied to your body are huge. But as you age from 1 to 10 years, 10 to 20 and 20 plus years, you see that red portion getting receded. And why is that so? Because your body stops growing. It just needs nutrients to develop certain things and to survive. But the body stops growing, the height stops growing. So that is why the need of red bone marrow decreases with the age. Okay. Now coming on to the death of RBC. The last link to the journey of RBC is how do RBCs die? And the RBCs die, they have a span of 120 days. It is hypothesized that a RBC would carry the oxygen for 120 days and then eventually it would die. For that 120 days, it might vary from 80, 90 to 120 days. And when the death of RBC comes to place, where does it die? It dies in the liver or it dies in the spleen, one of your organs sitting in your body. There are two places where the RBCs die. And the hemoglobin which is present inside the RBC, which is the main factor to carry oxygen, it gets reduced to bilirubin. You might have heard of a bilirubin term. You might have got your blood test done where you see the bilirubin levels. For example, when a new child is born, when a new kid is born, you might have seen cases where the child has been born with jaundice, a 2 days child with jaundice. And yes, why is that so? Because the bilirubin levels in the body of the child are huge in numbers. Why is that so? When the new child is born, there is a plethora of death of red blood cells, as well as new red blood cells are forming at a very high rate. So the liver is not yet fully formed. That is why the liver is not able to eradicate a lot or a huge number of RBCs, and that is why it causes jaundice, because bilirubin is not soluble in water, and that is why it drains in your body and it's a yellowish pigment, and that is why people who are infected with jaundice have yellowish skin and yellow pigment being shown in their body. Once the hemoglobin is reduced to bilirubin, it goes to liver. Liver makes it soluble in water and is finally excreted out of your body. So this is how the red blood cells die. So now we have seen the journey of red blood cells being born from the bone marrow, being indicated how many red blood cells are required by the kidney, and then finally going to their deathbed by liver. So this is how journey of RBCs is completed. I hope you liked the video. Please kindly like, share and subscribe if you like this video. Bye for today.